Hi, is this Cynthia? Cynthia, go to the Facebook page. I was on my private page, and that's why you couldn't find me. Okay, I just restarted the live because I was in the wrong place. So we are in the right place now, and we're waiting for you. So bye. Okay, guys, I am so sorry.
Keep it low like that.
Yeah, it should be like all the way on there. I don't want it to be in the shot at all. Yay, you made it. Okay, outstanding. Okay. I apologize for my boo-boo, you guys. Okay. You guys made it back. I'm waiting for you. We're going to be spending a lot of time together today, so I want to make sure that everybody is here and we all start at the same time. Okay. Yay! No wonder I couldn't find it on my page. I'm like looking everywhere for it. I'm going to wait just another minute to make sure everybody makes it over.
Maybe send a message to the people that were on the other one.
And I am going to, how do I, okay, hold on. Okay. Okay. Almost there. Okay. Okay. Okay, Stephanie's here. Leslie's here. Okay. We're just going to wait a couple more minutes and make sure everybody's here. We got 7. That's not enough. Okay. Margaret. Brian. Oh, I see what you did. Okay. Yeah. So, Margaret and Brian, are you there? Okay. I see Jenny, Cynthia. Okay. All right. Well, it's a sunny day today. My son is laughing at me. I have no idea why. But,
Brian said he's sharing. Brian's there.
Brian is there. Okay, good.
Nope, Margaret says she can't find you.
Who says she can't find me? Margaret.
Yeah.
Okay. Margaret. Okay, how can... Margaret. Margaret. Oops. I am giving her directions right now. There we go. Okay. Can you guys hear me drinking water?
Seriously.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I sent her the link, Laura. So she should be with us momentarily.
Okay, there we go. Kelly's here. Alright, I'm back on.
Okay, guys. Okay, I found the line. I had to go looking for it again. Okay. Okay, I'm sharing on Laura's screen, so signing off my phone, ready to rock. All right. Okay, Cynthia. Okay, everybody. All right. Yay, I'm so happy. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. So we're painting the Gatito first. So we're taking our medium-sized paintbrush and dipping it into the paint. Not too much. You can see how much is on my brush. And then the first thing I'm going to do is the hardest part, is I'm just going to go right in here. You can start anywhere. And I guess I water my paint down a little much. So I'm going to go back in there. And just outline those little spots on the side. So this is like his spine that we're painting right now. So my grandchildren will tell you that my favorite movies are the ones they like to watch. So in honor of today's painting, I watched Coco. I love that movie. It was so good. And it was all about this kid who wanted to be a musician, but his parents wouldn't allow, or his family, his elders, wouldn't allow music in the house because of something a previous elder had done, an ancestor. But it talked about how the Mexican culture honors their dead and keeps them alive by having their pictures around and talking about them. So I thought that was nice. It's a nice tradition.
That's why Nina likes it so much.
Yeah, my granddaughter likes that movie a lot. So yeah, if your paint is showing like little holes in it, that probably means you have too much water. But then it also means that canvas is typically porous, meaning a stretched canvas on a wood frame is made out of fabric. Exactly what kind of fabric? It's kind of like linen, but not quite. But anyway, it's porous, and so what the manufacturers do is they put a coat of gesso, meaning this kind of a sealer stuff, on the canvas. And sometimes it's real, like they put 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 coats. But when you buy, amateur status paintings or canvases, like what we purchase, because our customers are, they don't want to spend $100 on a canvas. They don't put as many coats on. So it's our job to fill in those little fabric holes with paint. So just be patient with your little paint. If you find yourself having trouble getting in between those tight spaces in your, then you can go ahead and get your smaller paintbrush. I'm just hard-headed sometimes, and I don't change brushes when I should. I just try to challenge myself to see if I can keep going without changing brushes. But if you don't want to make mistakes, then change your brushes. Otherwise, you'll wind up spending time fixing your mistakes. So yeah, so just take your time. We're not in a hurry because actually this is a very, very intricate painting. But I thought we'd start with a major piece of it so you could feel like, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So yeah, we'll spend a little time together today, and you're welcome to stay for the whole painting. I mean, I thought, like, normally a painting will take 2 hours. This one may take 3, but you know, you're your own boss, and this will be recorded, so that's entirely up to you. Oops. Oh no, I went on the lines. All right, so guess what? She just has a fatter neck. See how I fixed that? And I decided to wear gloves today to paint, only because I actually did my nails last night. And that does not happen very often. Oh, see? Peek through. So that's how I did my nails last night. Don't you get paint on there. So yeah, so we're going to be going into lots of nooks and crannies. So the big trick is just don't load your brush up with a lot of paint, and you'll be very happy. And also, if you make a mistake, like I made a mistake a little while ago, but actually I fixed it one way. There's another way you can fix a mistake too, and I'll show you that. You just take a corner of your paper towel and you dip it in water and you turn it into like a little eraser, and you dip the tip in water and take off the excess water so it doesn't bleed all over your canvas. And then you just wipe it off like this. Okay, so I didn't make a mistake there. I was just demonstrating how you can correct a mistake if you made one. Okay, let's see. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to go back. I just rinsed my brush off. I'm going to go back to here. Can we put these in the fridge? Okay, plug that in. I'm going to put this image here so everyone can see what we're doing. All right. So Laura, somebody wants to buy my Frida painting. I don't think I want to let her go. She's been with us forever. Oh, and did you see I was wearing my Frida t-shirt today? You can't see it. Let's see.
Somebody said they saw it earlier.
See?
There you go.
I was wearing my Frida t-shirt this morning, and I get a text from someone who walked past the studio and wants to buy her. So, and I don't know what's going to happen. And Frida was in Coco too in that movie, in the kids movie. So if you have grandkids or little nieces, nephews, cousins, whatever, kids, Coco is a great movie. I highly recommend it. But anyway, Frida was in that movie too. And this summer, in June, she's scheduled to be here in Chicago. But we don't know how that's going to play out because coronavirus. So the library of Glen Ellen, who asked me to do the paint party for Frida, has asked if I would do it remotely on Zoom or WebEx or whatever the library uses. And I've told them yes. So it is a free event. First, it was just for 50 people, but now that it's going to be a Zoom event, anyone can come. Like the amount of people who can come are unlimited. So, sell, she says. So that event, I believe it's June 24th, and I haven't confirmed with them yet, but that's kind of what's happening. In terms of this t-shirt, I am actually going to have some printed and in the store, but right now you can get my t-shirt at redbubble.com with the Frida painting on it. Who was that who told me they wanted the shower curtain? Somebody who was here in the studio. Oh, Jennifer. Not Jenny, but Jennifer, who stopped into the shop the other day. Yeah, she said she's waiting to have a Frida shower curtain. So one thing about your baby brush that we're using, that some of you may be using right now, is the maintenance. So in order to keep the pointed, you just need to make sure that you roll it before you put it to your canvas. See how it went from frayed end to pointed end? So, and I got a little bit too much water there, but twirl that. So what's everybody drinking this morning? I'm drinking water because I left my poured cup of coffee on the counter this morning as I left. Good water. I thought somebody was going to bring me some coffee. Apparently. Okay, so then when we get into these little nooks and crannies, like right here with the... Oh, I didn't finish this, did I? Sometimes my brain just makes me do exactly what it wants to do.
Brian said Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola man.
Cynthia said coffee.
Cynthia got her coffee. Okay. So, yeah, so these little nooks and cranny places, they're the ones that are going to drive you crazy. But you just got to take your time. Make sure your paint's not too diluted, but also has enough liquidity, to make it into those little spaces. And just use the two, like the hairs of the brush. Don't try to press down on the bristles. You just want to use the very tips, like the last two hairs of the brush on the tip. So there's some areas here where, like, if you want to be precise, you don't want there to be any question as to where the edge of your lines are. You can always go back and reinforce them. Okay, so that's one half of the cat. Coca-Cola, coffee. All right. So I really think that I was going to say this is the most difficult part because of the many small places, but I think it's just a really challenging painting that you just need to take your time with. Is there anybody here who's never painted before? Oh, Laura. So this should be an advanced painting? No. Just keep your brush pointed. Just keep it pointed. And if you lose your point, let me put that in the water. If you lose your point, just twirl it till it's thin enough. If you have too much paint and you press down hard on your brush, you're going to have problems. So you want to twirl off any excess paint and just paint with the tip hairs. So when you're dipping into your brush, into your paint, you're just using the tip, the very tip. And then you shouldn't have too much problem. So watch me go around this area. So I'm going to go back again because my paint was a little watered down, and I'm just going to use the tip of my brush. Who thought of this? This was your idea. Come to think of it, it sure was. And I'm going in for a little more paint. Oops. And also, that's another rule that I just broke. So don't leave your brushes sitting in the water. You want to tap out the excess water on the one that you're not using, dry it off, and just lay it down until you're ready to use it again. Because otherwise, these little things get loose and they just pop right off. So you don't want to lose the ability to use your brushes. So I'm going to go down to the other side of this brush now, or bone. And like these Saturday morning paintings, just to give you a little history, they started out being a creative jazz painting because I had them scheduled for in the studio early morning. So like you could go out and get your early morning creative calisthenics, before you started your day, you got your creativity out. But Corona came and just ruined all that. So this painting experience was supposed to have music, but unfortunately, because of Facebook rules, well, not Facebook rules, copyright issues, if I put music on, the broadcast will get interrupted, and that's no fun. We've had that happen. So it's better just for me to encourage you to play your own music. Again, right here, we're using just the tips of the brush. Last two hairs. So I encourage you to play some jazz or whatever floats your boat. I was listening to Phoebe Snow again. I found her after so many years, and now I can't stop listening to her. Love her voice. So is Natalia here this morning? Good morning, Natalia. Natalia's one of our teenage painters this morning. When things return to normal, Studio 928 will be a place where teenagers can come and paint. My focus is on from teens to tweens, or tweens to teens. And just a way for them, instead of going to the mall and buying stuff that maybe they don't need or getting into trouble, they can paint. Or instead of being on their video devices, electronic devices. So yeah, just take your time, you guys. Some of these spaces where you see the paint kind of beads up, it can be frustrating, but just stay with it. Know that acrylic painting can be a challenging medium. Now, if you wanted to do, for future reference, if you wanted to have less trouble with, for instance, this how the paint beads up on your canvas, you could give it a full coat of white before you started painting. But then, yeah, what kind of, you'd do that before you did your tracing and let it dry. And actually, if you wanted to do it the professional way, you would actually get some gesso and put it down, and that would help close up those little fabric holes on the canvas that cause your paint to bead up. So yeah, from teens to tweens. And also we had a creative jazz bundle. So they were $25 a piece, but you could get 3 for $50. And if they went unused, like if you didn't use them all within a certain period of time, then your unused paintings would go to one of those teens for free. So that teens don't necessarily have to have money. So you're like supporting the arts and you're supporting youth all at the same time when you buy one of those bundles. So, because I just much rather see kids doing art than, not that there's anything, technology is fantastic. Look at what we're doing. So having technology is great. It's just like, shouldn't be the only outlet we have for interaction. So, okay, tell me what you're listening to so I can live vicariously through you, because I can't listen to any music over here. Oh, nice. Celia Cruz, man, I haven't heard her music in a long time.
Margaret's drinking a pink martini.
Who's drinking what?
Margaret. Pink martini.
Is that music or a drink? Margaret. Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Listen to the dramatics.
The dramatics in the rain. Oh. Oh, it is music. The pink martini. And a drink. Okay, so if you don't have a line here, you should. So try not to go out of it. There may be a line or two missing someplace on your canvas. I mean, in your tracing example, but it's only because we're like still ironing out the bugs of transferring, or I should say There's no one else to blame but me. I'm still ironing out the bugs. Sometimes when I'm doing art in, digital art, it's the process is different from actually like drawing. Like I may start with a rough drawing, but then I take the rest of it, I take the drawing into the computer. And sometimes depending on how what process I use, I have to do a subtractive method of creating those lines. And sometimes I'll just finish the whole drawing and then just take my digital pen and trace over it. But this time I did the subtractive method, and it's wonky, for lack of a better term. It's just wonky. Okay, you can see I'm avoiding that little area. I don't want to go in there. That's okay. You can avoid areas. You can come back to them later. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to this area now. There. See, my paintbrush was grateful that I moved away from that area. It was like, dude, I just don't feel like painting that right now. So just go away, do something else, and come back to it. So I did. Now it's working better. So the inspiration for this piece, this is not my original idea. I mean, I saw a painting very similar to this, but I thought, well, I'm just not going to steal it and just paint it. So I changed a lot of things in it. I changed the flowers. I changed the position that the cat is in. Like in the original, I think the cat has his tail wrapped around his feet. And so I thought, well, if I bring his tail out this way, and then my flowers are totally different from the original. So I signed my name to it because, I just took the idea. I did not take the actual design. So I feel good about that, and you guys will have this. And this is actually something you can be really proud to hang in your home when it's all said and done. So yeah, so look, so this black is not so bad. We're just dealing with this, the fact that our canvas is kind of porous. So don't worry about if you don't get all the holes painted in the first time. This painting is going to take us 3 hours to complete, but in actuality, you could probably spend another 2-3 hours on it, so that it looks like something you'd be proud to hang. You don't want to hang it when there's a bunch of white holes in it. And this happens with all artists, professionals as well, because not all professional artists can afford those canvases that are like not triple, but like 10 times gessoed so that the canvases are not porous. We buy, just like the stuff that you're using today, that's what I paint on when I'm doing a commission for someone. So I just know that I have to gesso the image, for a day before I paint it. Or I whip out my paintbrush or my hair dryer. Your hair dryer is your friend. And then I avoided these feet down here because somehow I just am avoiding it, that's all. I'll go back to it. So, such a nice day out today, too. Hey, Margaret. What'd you say? And live stream virtual painting, Mexican folk art. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Danielle. How you doing, girl? Good to see you. How's the weather in Boston? Or is it Maryland? Wait. We got sun here in Chicago. It's a miracle. I actually think it's a conspiracy. Have you noticed, like, okay, so I took, every day I ask Siri, okay, what's the weather today? And then sometimes I'll ask her, what's the weather for the week? So last week, Monday, I asked her, what's the weather forecast for the week? Well, she told me every day was going to be like 30 degrees, 40 degrees, and cloudy, every single day. Every day. I'm like, for real? I think there's a conspiracy. I think they're having a hard time with keeping people in the house. So they're in cahoots with the weather guy to tell people the weather is really terrible so they don't go outside. Right? Because this week was not all cloudy. I mean, we had sun. I mean, she didn't even say partly cloudy or partly sunny. And what's with it always being partly cloudy? Why can't it be partly sunny? Because if it's partly cloudy, apparently there's got to be some sun in there somewhere, right? Oh, it's super cold there, huh? Oh, bummer. Yeah, our trees are all happy and little sprouts are popping out of them here in Oak Park. Sorry you're having bad weather. Hope you get some good weather tomorrow. I hope your weather's not coming our way. The world is upside down. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I stopped listening to Siri because I just feel like she's full of it. And if I want to know what the weather is, I'll just take my butt outside and find out. So, keeping my social distance rules in place. Oh, you did? Oh, thanks, Danielle. So yeah, this is one of those, it's going to take you a little minute to get all your little spaces filled in, but when you're done, you're going to be super proud. So don't rush through it. Take your time. And again, remember you're using the last two. Oh, this is why those people do this on videos. So you see the little hair sticking out on the brush? That's the brush. That's the tip that you're using to paint. And so you're just lightly touching. See how when you just use that little hair, you can make this really fine line? But when you press harder, you get a thicker line. You press harder, you're going to get this fat line. So, moral of this lesson is use, and I hope you're watching this, use just a little hair at the tip of the brush. Like you're barely touching the canvas. Okay? Cool. So everybody should not have any trouble getting into these little small spaces because you're just using the very tip of your brush. And today I had the opportunity to do a sign painting because, you know, I'm in my studio. In the past, I've been broadcasting from home during the pandemic here, but I decided that I needed to be in my studio because it's such a wonderful, sunny, happy place. There's this beautiful skylight in the room, and the sun just streams in this space. So I want to be here. But anyway, so yeah, my dog's not running around begging for my attention either. So I had to make a sign for the window that said, you know, we're broadcasting live at 11 a.m. So I got to do that thing that sign painters do. You know, like today they use vinyl for windows, but back in the day, they used to paint signs by hand. And I thought, how do they do that? Well, it depends on your brush. Your brush pretty much determines how you can make block letters. So I was experimenting with that today. That was fun. And let's see, we're almost done with his lower body. Oh, I got to go back and do that part that I don't want to do. How about if I just skip that? I don't want to do that part. And that's okay, because you guys can get up and go have a glass of wine, or not wine, or whatever you want. Go, you know, go outside for a smoke or whatever, and then come back to it. So if I was at home, I'd probably go eat something and come back to this section at the bottom. So, yeah, so you want to be kind of precise with this because we can go back in with white paint, of course, in those spaces where the bones live. And you can also be pretty precise so that, oops, my paintbrush. You can also be precise so that you don't have to do too much correction with your white. Yeah, I do too. You have your Chocola paint markers. You can use them on your window. I did use, as a matter of fact, Danielle, I did use the Chocola markers in conjunction with the acrylic paint on the sign. And I created a, what do you call it? I need more paint, so I'm going to dip into this and put some more on my tray. I outlined my acrylic letters with the Chocola paint. Okay. So, and so I did the letters, like I did the recording live in acrylic, and then I put the time in Chocola paint so that I can reuse that sign instead of repainting it over again. Whew. Oh, you can see my Frida t-shirt a little bit. I didn't know that. Look at that.
Yes, I wasn't.
How was what?
The picture. Or
Oh, well, it's in the window. And, oh, I love the chocola. I mean, I use it everywhere. I'm so glad. So Danielle is an artist too, and she had a giveaway because her paintings are so gorgeous that Chocola saw fit to ask her to do a promotional thing. So she had like a contest where if you, I forget what the contest was, but anyway, the prize was these Chocola markers, and I saw them and I was like, oh my God, I have to have those. I'm not going to wait to see if I win them. I just have to go get them. So there are these like neon kind of markers that are chalk. And I could use them on actual chalkboards. So they'd be great for teachers and, for painting on windows and stuff like that. Because it's, it's semi-permanent. It's not permanent. So it's really nice. So I'm real thankful she turned me on to that. So one day when we get done with this painting, it's going to go in the window. It's going in my permanent collection of options available for download. And, there was a reason why I brought that whole Frida thing up. And the reason was, I have too much paint. It's real globby. Let's fix that. The reason is that the paint party that I was going to have at Hamburger Mary's, of course, Hamburger Mary's went through a change, so they're not this going to be the same as they were back in the day. They used to have drag shows, and they're not going to be having those anymore. And also, I just think that I'll probably have a Frida event online and a Frida event here. So, like, by the end of June, maybe we can do a Frida event. We'll see. So, I kind of screwed up. You see what I did there? That's okay. I can fix that later. Yesterday I woke up thinking about a Halloween party. I'm thinking ahead. But I think nothing's going to be the same. So we'll probably, in addition to our Halloween mask, have to wear like the mask we're wearing right now. So might as well get used to it. Hey, maybe masks will be the makeup of the future. Maybe we need to start making like makeup masks for people to wear. Because you know what I find frustrating is that when you, what I find frustrating is that when you have your mask on and you're talking to someone, you can't tell if they're smiling or frowning or whatever. You can't see their whole expression. So maybe if you had like a mask where you could like pull a string and it would smile for you when you felt like smiling, then that would be kind of cool. Okay, so I got down to my feet, but I screwed up my feet down there. So I'm going to have to go in with some white. And of course, I can't do that until it dries, because if I do, I'm just going to have a big gray mess on my head. So now I'm going to go back up to the top of my painting, and I'm going to start my work on finishing the head of the Gatito. I like that word. My son thinks I'm so funny. He's here in the studio with me, Danny. Say hi to everybody, Danny.
Hola.
He said hola. Okay, so you see this little part right here where it's pointed? I hope you're doing that with me, because there's a trick to doing that so that it doesn't, so you don't screw it up. So you want to twirl your brush. So if you haven't gotten as far as I have, and you want to make sure you get those whiskers right, you want to just move away from something you're doing and come on up here and do this with me. So my paintbrush is twirled and pointed and ready to go. And I'm going to start from the fat part of this area and go in just with the tip of my brush. That's how I'm going to make those points retain their pointiness. Okay, see that? So I'm going to get my twirl on. Okay, see how much paint I have? But I'm starting out here and I'm going towards the center. Just the tip of my brush. See how it's making that nice line? Shut up. My son is cracking me up over here. Ah, he's funny. Funny guy. Funny, funny, funny. All right, same here. Just the tip. See how it's just the tip of the brush. There. Okay, so those little twirls, those are his mustache. So what we're going to do is we're not going to worry about the mustache. Okay, we're going to do that later. So just go ahead and with the tip of your brush, go ahead and finish that facial area. So just, and then we'll do it in white or pink or something like that, his whiskers. Okay. So we still have a little point over here to take care of. So I'm going in with the tips of my brush, following the curve of that little fang that's sticking out. Okay, let me get neat again. I was painting so neat. So Laura knows I don't like to. Laura's my friend from when I used to do paint parties at Hamburger Mary's in Oak Park. And she suggested this painting. So I hope you are enjoying it. And if you feel any frustration, please feel free to let her know. What is that on my canvas? Is that like a little cootie? Get out of there. Get out of there. Okay. Okay. So you see I'm procrastinating, so I didn't want to go in and get that other whisker, or not whisker, what is it, a tooth. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm going in where I know. There we go. And just the tip of your paintbrush right in here. So if it looks like your brush is, the bristles are spreading apart, go back, twirl it again. See, mine is still doing that. So I need to go back. You can't paint like that in a small space like that. It'll just ruin it. So go in and get some water. And make sure you make a paint base that's mostly paint and not water, and twirl again. So now I'm going in to get that bad boy with that new nice tip. So I got to go in under the whiskers here. I mean, you know, that little fat part of the cat's face. What do they call that? I don't know. I just wonder why there were so many people who don't regularly follow me on my live. It's because I was in the wrong space.
That was just this time, though.
Hmm?
The last one you did was funny.
Yeah. So, yeah. So here again, I'm coming up on that whisker that's twirling out there. We're just going to cover him up because there's no way we're going to be able to save that line. I trust you 100% in terms of making your own whiskers. And we still haven't done the tail. All right, you know what? I want to go back to the tail because I don't feel like dealing with that right now. And that's my decision. You can do whatever you want. You can keep going around the face if you want, but I'm going to take a minute and come in and get some of this tail over here.
All right.
Oh, that sounded funny. Oops, I made a mistake. Bummer. Okay. How do we fix mistakes? All right. Oops. I have makeup on. Did I just touch my face? I must have. All right. A little corner. Dab out the excess water. And then just wipe it away. See how easy that was. You said you suggested the theme, not the image, huh, Laura? Mexican folk art. So next week, the image we're doing is on the Facebook page. We're doing an African dance. We're doing African dancing girls. And they're so cute. Now that image is inspired by a South African artist. So I take absolutely no credit for that. So we're just doing tribute painting. Look at that. That came out very nice. There we go. Oh my God, girl, I had a crazy dream. You were in the supermarket without a mask on? Jeez. We go through so much these days. It's like anxiety. Like, actually, what was it? Yesterday, I actually had a day, or at least a few hours, where I forgot we were living this way. And I was watching something in particular that made me forget about it. What was it? I was watching Driving Miss Daisy. Boy, if that didn't take you back to a different time with Morgan Freeman. I just love Morgan Freeman. So for a few hours, I forgot we were living under a pandemic. Okay, I'm tired of the tail. I'm going back to the face now. And as I said before, that's entirely your prerogative. Skip around. But let's just keep doing the cat together, because there's the method to my madness in terms of how we approach the rest of the painting. So, for instance, I'll tell you in advance in case you want to skip around. So there are portions of the painting where if you make a mistake, they're harder to correct. So instead of just doing the background, we're going to come in, we're going to do the yellow flower and the yellow splash first. Okay, we're going to do the yellow flower and the yellow splash first, because if we accidentally get some orange on the yellow, it'll be harder to cover up. So that's why we want to put our yellow down first there. And then we're going to put down our light blue. I'm sorry, our light blue here and here and here and here. And then, yeah. So you could start there with your yellow if you wanted to, and yeah, and with your light blue. That's how we're going to do it. Yeah, I haven't had any coronavirus nightmares yet. Fortunately for me, sleep has been a welcome escape from everything that's going on around us. I'm sorry you had a nightmare. Oh, you hated that movie? Oh, I'm glad you don't work for her anymore. So it sounded like too much fun. She was just like her, huh? Well, Jessica Tandy, she was pretty cool. I liked her as an actress. So you guys, answer a question for me. What was the hardest thing for you to do in terms of tracing this image? Or just the whole process in general, because I learn from my mistakes and I make your experience better when I get your feedback. So if it's really terrible, then you can tell me offline. No, I'm kidding. I have no shame. I have nothing to hide. Tell me how I could improve things if you see, anything that was frustrating for you. Or I know that, for instance, Cynthia and Margaret had some trouble getting here today, but that's just because I started in the wrong place. I started on my personal page instead of my Facebook page, which I've never done that. I don't know how I did that, but I must have been a little frazzled. Just, oops, I made a boo-boo. And I'm not going to stay with that boo-boo. That boo-boo got to get fixed. Okay, we're going to go take another piece of this. And I'm going to take these gloves off because that looks terrible with my makeup on it. So, hey, we are starting late, but we are here. Hey, Jane. I'm glad you made it. Yeah, I was thinking that maybe people may not even come today because it's so nice outside. It's so sunny. Having the sunshine is just a blessing today. But that's why I would not be upset if you decided that you wanted to get some sunshine. Oh, I forgot to correct my boo-boo, didn't I? Let's hope it's not too late. Let's see. So yeah, I'm just gonna dab that off. Yay. All done. And again, when we're going into those small areas, and the cool thing, Jane, is that you can pick this up, you know, the recording later, so. And we started a little late because of a boo-boo I made, but we probably started pretty good about 11:20, I guess we started. Yeah, we had quite a few difficulties. So we've been painting for, you know, close to an hour. Okay, don't try to catch up because this is not something you want to rush through. I mean, I love it that you want to try to do that, but take your time because, for instance, you missed the part about how to do a thin line, and it's such an essential part of this painting. So, for instance, right now I'm going in to do this part of the whiskers that's real tight, so we want to start out here in this area and then just use the very tip of your brush to get the points like this. And I'm sure that no one will mind if I show you one more time how to get a straight line. So first of all, you need to make sure you're using your thin brush that you have. Look at that nice tip on that one. This is a brand new brush. All of your brushes should be brand new. So you're just dipping that brush one time. You're tapping off the excess water. And then you roll your paintbrush. And you're breaking the cast on it because a new paintbrush will have, like, I don't know, they use some kind of chemical to make it crunchy, you know, like hairspray. And then you just twirl the brush like that and it gives you a point. So to make a thin line, we're just taking, if you can see that little hair at the tip of the brush, that's your paintbrush. Not everything above it, just the tip. So you barely touch that hair to your canvas to get a fine line. Can you see that? And the more pressure you apply, and I'm barely touching the paper or this styrofoam. If I touch it more, and then if I touch it even more, that widens my line. Okay, so the objective is just to use those last two hairs on the brush is what I always say. Okay? Yay! Okay. So now, okay, I'm going to paint neatly again. And I come in here and finish this ear off. And I was explaining to everyone, excuse me, how our canvases are made from linen, stretched linen. So the people who manufacture the canvases put a coat of gesso, like a really thin coat of gesso. So when our paint beads up like this, it's not the quality of the paint. Sometimes it can be that it is too watered down, meaning you've added too much water to your brush. But it's because fabric is porous. And the combination of the porous fabric and the like thin coat of gesso that's on your canvas causes those little holes. So our job is to make sure those holes get filled and to acknowledge that you'll have those holes and not get frustrated by them. I did mention that one way to relieve that problem in the future, if you paint with us again, is to prep your canvas. Like professionals would take some more gesso and add, I don't know, 10 coats, 5 coats over a couple of days before they sat down to start painting. For non-professionals, you can just add an additional coat of white to the canvas before you transfer your image onto it. Then you won't run into this problem where you're painting on something porous. You're welcome, Jane. Okay, so let's see what else. So next Saturday, I already mentioned that we're doing the African Dancing Girls. They're so pretty, and like I said, it's based on a South African artist. And then the following Saturday is going to be the lotus flower, and everybody's looking forward to that one. But what's really going to be amazing is May 10th, which is the mother. Is it May 10th or May 7th? I can't remember. Wait, May 9th. May 9th is May 2nd, 7, 9. Yeah, May 9th. And then Mother's Day is on the 10th. So Mother's Day, we have a painting that is going to be a compilation of many suggestions that we had in the Time for Art Facebook group. So if you're not a member over there, go on over there, because we get some good suggestions and some ideas going, and people seem to feel more at ease sharing their work there as opposed to on my Facebook page. So we like to see your complete work. And it doesn't have to be immediately following the live painting. It could be after you had a chance to go in and tweak some things. Because 3 hours, normally 2, 3 hours is not a lot of time for a painting. People have taken months to paint things. And it should be enjoyable, and you shouldn't be racing. So I don't want anyone racing to try to catch up. And I don't mean to pick on you, Jane. But I mean, I don't want you to feel rushed. That's just the bottom line. I don't want you to feel rushed. And you can see the recording. So whatever you don't get to now, you can do later. And this can carry on into tomorrow if you wanted to. I am going to be back in the studio tomorrow, because someone wants to come and look at the Frida painting. I don't know. I'm having second thoughts about even letting that go. I don't know. I guess, see, Danielle, she sells paintings all the time. So she's like, buy painting, give me my money. But I can't, some of her work is just, I couldn't imagine letting it go. It's really nice stuff. Okay, so where's the tip of his tail? Oh, good grief. I just made a boo-boo. Why didn't someone tell me? All right, fine. I was too busy running my mouth. Okay. But I might be able to still correct it. Hold on. What did I say? Don't rush, and I must have rushed because I made the major boo-boo. Okay, so this is how we fix boo-boos, which you guys have seen me do that a lot today. So you just dip in, you turn this into like a little eraser, and then I'm gonna go in here and just wipe this out, hopefully. Yay! Oops. Oh, brother, I just made that worse, didn't I? Ay, ay, ay. All right, so I have to repaint that. That's okay. That's okay. All right. Okay, how did I not? This should be like that, I think. Cat face. Almost done. Oh, we have these little things right here, like little hairs. Always start at the larger area and then pull your brush towards the center. And again, you have to have that point on your brush in order to get into narrow areas like that. So we just roll the paintbrush till we get a point. Make sure there's no excess water on your brush. Just get a point. And then just using the last two hairs. I know you guys might get sick of me saying that, but basically it's me trying to impress upon you to not press hard on the brush. Just use the last two hairs. See? Ta-da! And then here, oh, it looks like I didn't put my other eyeball or my eyelid in. So I'm gonna have to wing it. I'm rolling my paintbrushes. I have to get into a really skinny area here, using just the last two hairs. Can you see that? Last two hairs on my brush. And I'm gonna go all the way around. I'm using this as a reference since I didn't draw the lines in. Okay, I'm gonna hit that other eye, and I've twirled my paintbrush to get that point. Sometimes I'm holding my breath when I paint in small spaces like that. Oh, this looks like it should be a little rounder. And I don't like the way my eye looks right there, so I'm going to just take a little piece of my wetted paper towel and just try to match my eyes a little better. Okay, so we're still missing a little heart. So let me go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to clean my brush and add some white to that area near the eye so I can make it the way I want it. And you know what we can do right away is let's give this area in the cat's face a coat of white, because otherwise we'll never be able to add all of that cute detail in. Now, I will tell you a secret. Okay, so we have a choice. Like, that's a lot of detail in the face. So I'm going to leave it to you to decide how much you want to add. Okay, so what we're going to do is to go ahead and put some white down first, and then we can come back and we can try out putting as much detail as we're comfortable with into the face. So I've taken some white from my container. You want to do that with a clean brush so you don't contaminate it. And then just lay it on your canvas. I mean, you know what I mean. Onto your, what is this called? Styrofoam. And I'm just going to go in there like that. And lay down some white, because I don't want to have a big hassle trying to paint intricate designs on a porous surface. So it's better that I just go ahead and like add a poor man's layer of gesso. So gesso is this stuff that artists use to seal canvases. But if you don't have gesso, you can also just use white acrylic paint. And you won't see this, but you'll know it's there when you try to paint those really intricate designs there. The embellishments, I should say. Stay away from that. If you painted the heart, stay away from it, because it's not dry. You're just going to smear. And you can even overlap it onto the lines that are there. You should still be able to see through them. Look at the gatito. So we're gonna let that dry, and then we'll come back and we'll work on something else, and then we'll come back to it. Oh, I'm gonna get the ears too. Might as well get the ears, and might as well get the heart because we have to do a color on top of there. I'm gonna do my heart. In white, and I'm gonna do these ears. Oops. There we go. That's pretty cool. What do you guys think? How's it looking? Okay, so I'm gonna put the lid on this so it doesn't dry out for now. So that's good for another painting at least. And there's my white. And I'm going to mix some yellow. Take your time. I'm not going to rush into this next step. So if you're finishing something up, by all means, go ahead and finish it up. I'm going to wait for you. So our next section is going to be here. And I'm cold. I'm going to go get my sweater. Okay, I am back. And I'm nice and warm. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our yellow, and you're gonna need red. So, which one of these is the most powerful color? Yes, you're right, it's red. So we're starting with the least powerful color, and that is yellow. So we're going to take a little scoop of yellow. Let's make it 2 scoops. And to that yellow, this is how you mix colors. Yes, red and yellow make orange, but not in equal parts. So I'm gonna clean some of this yellow off my brush. Most of it. And this is how much, let me move over, make sure I'm in the camera view. This is how much red we're gonna use. You see that? We're adding that to the yellow. So, as you can see, that's pretty close to the color of yellow on the cat. So it's a light, pale, kind of an orangey yellow, but definitely not equal parts. It was more like what? Like 10 parts to 1 to give us this color. So we're going to go in and add this color to the flower next to the gatito. And the reason why we're doing this first instead of the background is because it'll be easier to correct a yellow mistake when we paint the background than it would be if we painted the background first and tried to correct a mistake with yellow paint. It just wouldn't work. So yeah, we do things that make life easier. And yeah, so we're just painting in those petals, nice and easy. So when we go in with our blue to paint the center part, it's gonna correct any yellow that's out of place. So take your time, but it's not a big deal. And let's go ahead and hit those little splashes of color. And again, I'm not really being real careful because I know my blue's gonna, or my orange is gonna come in and cover that up. So I'm not so worried about it. But it is important for me to get this color down first because again, it's acting as an additional layer of sealant for the canvas. So when it dries, we can go in with another coat to get a more vibrant color. So let's just go in and do this color wherever we see it on the canvas. So there's another little splash of it right here, I think. Yeah. And is that color the same color as that color? I think it is. All right, well, let's go ahead and hit that then. Let's hit that. Or is it a little darker? I don't know. I'm half blind one half the time. Okay, on here. Where else? Oh, these all have that color. Oops, not so big. All right, well, I guess I have to fix that one because this one's different, but that's okay because it's just okay. We can still fix that. And then over here, we have some yellow. Such a different thing painting this as opposed to creating it digitally. It's just a whole different thing. Because when you create it digitally, you can do undo or backspace, you know. I love that. So, as you can see, I overlapped a little bit on the tail. That's okay, because black will cover that right up. See how little paint it takes to cover an area? That's why I like to stress to not pour your paint, because once it's poured, it's never going back into that container. It's gone. So better to pour small amounts because, you know, you're going to want to paint all the time now. I know I do. I wish I could just paint all the time. Like all the time. Like I didn't have to sell anything. I didn't have to promote or any of that kind of stuff. Just sit down and paint. Just marvel at the beautiful colors that God's given us to put on canvas or paper or whatever. So, painting. Hi, Jill. You still here? Looks like that was a while ago. Okay, so I got all that yellow in there. Now, there's that yellow under the eye, but I don't think that's ready yet. I think we should put another coat, because it's such a small area that we really want to just like take the very tip of our brush and just kind of pop it there, you know? We don't want any pressure on the brush. So once you get all your yellow put in, go back and hit her face with another layer of white, so that when we do go in here, and actually, you know what? Go ahead and hit the eyes with some white. This is black. Paint that black first. I forgot to do that, but paint this white. So we have another layer on there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some orange now. So we're not throwing away any paint. We're going to use what we have left over, if anything. I'm going to add a little more to it because I know we're going to need it for the background. So I'm scooping out for that little quadrant over there. I'm scooping out like this much because we can use it here too. We got 2 spaces where we can use that. So there, see, we still got a full container of yellow. And now I'm going to just lay my brush down because I have a clean brush in the water. I'm going to tap off the excess water, dry off my paintbrush, and use it as a scoop again. This time, we're going for quite a deeper orange than we got with that yellowish orange we just blended. So I'm going to take maybe about that much, but I'm not going to add it directly to my color yet. You add it a little bit at a time. So I'm going to just dab a little red right there. So you see that? That's like, I don't know, 5-8 parts to 1 part orange or yellow. So we're going to mix that in to get our orange. And are we there yet? Nah, we can go ahead and add some more red. Let's add a little bit more. And like I said, it's always easier to add more than it is like impossible to take it away. So you don't want to waste paint. Always add less of the stronger color and then add in as needed. Look at me, you guys, I'm ambidextrous. So talented. Ooh, I think I'm feeling this orange. Let's just go ahead and get the rest of it in there. I think, yeah, see, look at that. And I'm gonna use this to get the rest off my brush. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little water because I think I dried it up. I was moving it around so fast, it dried up. Okay, how's that look? So you pick the orange you want. This is not close, but I don't think I need to go that much darker. I mean, this is digital orange, so that's gonna be different than 3D orange. And I think I'm happy with that. Okay, maybe just a little bit more red. But again, that red, that color's up to you. Ooh, yeah, I think I like that. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, more reddish orange, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna use all of this paint on this brush and that brush. We don't waste any paint. So don't worry about those splatters, because we'll get to them. And oh yeah, we're gonna need another coat. Oh yeah. Digital orange is a lot more powerful than acrylic orange. Again, we're using the tip of our paintbrush to go in between these tiny areas. And absolutely, we're going to need another coat or two. And if you have your hair dryer, you're going to want it right now. I did not bring mine today. I'm messy painting again. I call it messy painting when it looks like I'm doing this by myself instead of for an audience. So I'm going to put it back nice and neat for you. So don't get frustrated because you see streaks. We know that we need another coat of paint. Remember not to leave your brushes in the water so that you can reuse these brushes. They're very hard to... Oh, did I just stick my thumb in the paint? Yes, I did. It's very hard to get art supplies because everyone wants to do art. I always buy brushes in bulk, of course. Brushes have gone up 200% in price, as has the availability of paint. So I'm not trying to go over this a second time because if you know it's just going to smear. So I'm just covering the area now. We have to let that dry before we can give it a second coat. And always go off to the edge. And don't worry about this being precise. Like stop. Like make some wiggly lines or something. And I'm pressing very lightly because I'm getting streaks, and when we get streaks, we want to make sure we can cover them on the second go round without too much hassle. Okay, I'm gonna not mess with that anymore. And then I think we'll go in here and get those little areas. So don't try to do this with your big brush like I'm doing. I've done this a few more times. But make sure you at least get one coat down before we transition to another color so that when we do put down the second coat, it benefits from having had a first coat. Okay, and I'm just going to take the edge of my paintbrush and just not make a defined line. We don't want a defined line. Okay. So yes, that's streaky and weird looking, but that's okay. We're gonna go over here and add in the same color over here. If you ran out, that's okay, just make some more. And we always paint to the edge of the canvas. Because when you hang it on the wall, it will look finished without a frame. Hard to find canvas frames, you know, where you can just stick the canvas in the frame and the artwork shows without glass. And actually, you know what? I'm just gonna cover that over because it's a darker color. It's like a pink, I think. Man, I'm gonna go in here. So again, you guys should be using your smaller brush to get into these areas, but I'm being bad. Oh, and this goes yellow too, or orange. Okay. Ta-da! Wah, wah, wah. Okay, so I'm going to stop that for a minute because I want to paint a different color and because we have to let it dry. So we're making good progress. Let's see. 11 to 1 is 2, 11 to 3. Yeah, we're doing real good. We're doing real good. Okay. So, oops, did I let that dry? Okay. Next color is blue. So I am going to, and if you ran out of space, I mean, I didn't run out of space. I just felt like having a new palette for the blue because the blue is so pretty. Okay, so what I think we're going to do first is we're going to do light blue first because then dark blue can come in and correct all the mistakes we made. Won't that be fun? Okay, so we're going to start with some white because you always go with the weaker color first. We're going to scoop some out and place it on our canvas. And then I'm going to take a smaller brush, scoop out a little blue. See how much blue that is? And I'm not adding it directly to my color. I'm going to put it over to the side because I may only need half of that. So we're going to figure that out. That's our light blue. Of course, if you want to make it darker, you can, but then you have to make your background color darker as well. So I'm going to stay with this blue because it looks like I hit it the first time, which doesn't always happen. We got a lot of places for this light blue, so let's get it on out of our system and place it where it needs to be placed. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on this white so it doesn't dry out. That was me doing, showing off my nails because I just did them last night. All right, and where is the, oh, I guess I should leave the top off the blue. I'm not done with it yet, so I'm going to leave that over here. I'm not going to cover this red up, though. Okay. So we're trying not to ruin the manicure, because God knows I hate doing it, and I don't like taking the time to do them. Okay. My nails are okay. So here's our light blue. Our light blue goes, we're going to twirl. We're going to get all that excess paint off the brush. We're going to twirl it like that. And we're going to go in and hit these, oops, put my wrist in there. We're going to hit these ears. We'll start on this side. Well, those are supposed to be like hearts. How did I screw that up? Good grief. Chatting. Shouldn't have to talk while you paint. It's very distracting. You should just be able to focus. Look at how more cute that looks when the hearts are there. So I'm going to have to fix that. Okay. And then these, circles get blue over here. How's everybody doing? Feed in to me. Let me know. Got any questions? Comments? Frustrations? Revelations? Observations? I was trying to think of one more. You're great. And Jane, you're not stressing about your mistakes. Good girl. Yes. That is an awesome lesson to learn. Don't stress about your mistakes because you're in control. And there's always ways to fix them. And sometimes mistakes are just happy accidents. I'm sure you know who's said that before. Our friend Bob Ross. Happy accidents. Yay. mix this color up, right? But we're painting something that's kind of, you know, you have to be careful. It's kind of intricate. So acrylic paint dries really fast. So what I do at home is I have a spray bottle. And it's like a mister, you know, those ones that you use when you go to the beach. Okay, you can use your mister and you just mist your paint, have it sitting on the table with you when you're painting. That way you won't lose so much paint, because like here, it just kind of dried up. So if you have your mister bottle though, you could keep, you know, your paint active, and, you know, it saves you money, so you don't have to, you know, lose that paint. Because once you get that color right, you know, I mean, you can mix it again, but if you pay attention, you know, to, like, we noticed that the ratio of getting this color, the white to blue, this baby blue, was like 1 part to 12 parts almost. You know, because I can estimate that with my eyeballs, right? Crazy guess. Let's see, where else do we have that light blue? Find all your light blue spots and just try to hit them. And again, like, I have a lot of paint on my brush right now, but I'm using still just the tip of my brush. Just those last 2 hairs. I know you're just dying to make some blue, aren't you? That darker blue. So I'm going to do something different just because I decided to change my design midstream. So I have so much of this blue left, I don't want to waste it. So I think I'm going to add some, now I'm torn a little bit. I think I'm going to add some blue here, because I'm going to do a darker blue around. Because there's nowhere else I can, oh, I still have to use blue there. I could use blue there. Let's do that. But I still want to do blue on this side instead of this purplish blue. You can do whatever blue you like. I'm going to do this blue. Oops, that's not right. It goes here. That is one of those curly things right there. That's what that is. I just didn't do a great job tracing it. Yeah, that's what that is. It comes down from here and goes around. Oh, that's such a nice blue. Now, the color that is actually there is like a purple. So let me mix that for you in case you want purple. Okay, so same kind of principle with mixing purple. Everybody's, your first answer is, so how do you make purple? Well, everybody knows that that's red and blue, right? So except for one thing, there's a ratio involved. So we don't just take purple and blue and mix equal parts. We have to take the least dominant color And in red and blue, in this case, it's just like almost like a toss-up. So I'm going to start with the red. And then add just a smidgen of blue. Okay, so I've got my blue here. Starting over there, I'm adding it to the red. And actually, I'm not even going to add that much. So it's mostly red. And then you get your purple. But if you wanted to have more of a, wait a minute, what am I doing? What color is that? See, that's a translucent purple. I guess more blue, huh? It's more of a bluish purple than a reddish purple. Yeah, it's more like this. So, my bad. But it's also kind of opaque. I mean, not opaque, translucent. So, a whole different thing when you're mixing this in 3D as opposed to mixing it on the computer. So, I'm going to add just a little touch of white to that. Maybe a lot of touch of white. And I'm putting my thumb in the paint again. Oh, brother. Okay. So, and that's going to give us that lighter turquoise color. Or not turquoise, what am I saying? Purple color. All right. So there you have it. So actually it's a little more blue than it is red. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it on so that I'm not deviating from the original. Nobody gets confused. Also, that blue layer acted like another sealer layer for us. So that works out really well. And if you still have your blue going, you know you can go in and fill in those flowers across the page here. That turned out kind of nice. See how it doesn't bead up when you have an extra layer? Because it's already been filled in. The fabric's already been filled in. And I'm not being really careful with this because I know I have some darker blue coming around. And there's your purple. And then here's a little piece here. Yeah, so this one didn't have that layer down before. You can tell it's different. You can almost, you know, like see through it. Makes a difference. Okay, so that's that purpley stuff. So you can also use this purpley stuff. You know, this is where you can do your own personalization kind of thing, but there's kind of some purpley line coming from here. Where is it? It's here. Here, I'm going to use that reddish purple. Can you see me talking with my hands? You can personalize and make those lines however you like, was my point. Okay, I don't want to jump around too much. I'm going to go ahead and do these circles. In green. But it's a pale green, so where do we start? We have to start with white. Ooh, we got to get that orange fixed. That looks terrible. So I'm taking some white. I probably took just too much, that's why. Too much white for the little area that we have to cover. And I'm going to add it to, actually I'm just going to take a little portion of this white, push it off to the side. So I don't make so much green. I'm not going to need near that much. And I'm going to add a little more green to that. Okay, and I could even add a little more if I wanted. So I'm just going to go in and add this green. And the best way to get a circle is just put your brush down, twirl it from the center out. You see that? And where else? Oh, so there's one hiding behind here. Oops. I can fix that with my black. Okay, and I think there's supposed to be another one in here. For some reason, I don't have it there. And my stomach is about to start growling. I'm hungry. Okay, lesson learned. Bring snacks. But that wouldn't sound too good. Okay, green, green, green. Anywhere else? The only other place I see green is in the eyes. So I'm going to hit it with a coat because we already have a, if you've already hit the outside of the whites with some white, then you can put some green on top. Should go on pretty smoothly. We can add this lighter green and then put some darker green around the edge of the eyes. That'll look cool. So yeah, so the trick is kind of use the paint that you have on your brush when you're doing multiple kind of things like we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and hit this with some green. Does it have some green? Oops. Okay, did I hit all my green spots? Okay, so I'm gonna go back now over in this eye area, hit the outside of the eye with some dark green. That's gonna look cool. Make sure I have my skinniest of my skinny brushes. So I have my super skinny brush, and I'm just gonna go in there with some raw green like that on the edge of my brush, and just using the tip of my brush to give me that outer green. Of course, I didn't paint the inside of my eye yet, the black part. So now I'm going to dry off my brush, remove most of that green, and just go back with a pointy wet tip and try to blend that in. And now I think I'll hit my eyeballs, the cat's centers, with the black paint, just with the tip. Just the tip. Okay. Now, you know what's really bugging me right now? I have to go and fix that orange. As much as I want to go to my blue right now, I have to fix that orange. It's driving me crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna move my blue out of the way, bring this orange back into play. Get some orange, get some yellow. And I'm scooping out enough this time to cover both places. Still got plenty of paint left. And it's all clean. Well, except for that little streak right there. And put the cap back on this white. And I'm going to pick up some red. This time I know I can take about that much and add it to my yellow. Just to make sure. I only added half as much as I thought I needed. Ooh, see? Always add half as much as you think you need. Bam! Wait, I think I want a little more red. Put it right there. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's it. That's it. So I'm going to leave this brush here because I'm going to use it for those little tiny areas. And I'm going to mix the rest of that red into that color. So, but for now, I'm going to go over here. Cover the edges. And I'm stroking kind of lightly, so I'm still getting some streaks. And I'm going to go to the other side. All right. I'm just going to wipe off this orange instead of painting this over. And I'm going to go ahead and mix this into the red that was left into this, because I like that color. I think it's pretty darn close to the original color. Look at that. That's pretty close to finish mixing it though. And I wish I had my hair dryer here because I could sure use it. This orange is taken, with it having so much yellow in it, it's really difficult. I'm having a hard time getting good coverage the first time around, or the second time around, I should say. So yeah, try not to press too hard when you're going back in for your second coat, especially if you don't think your first coat is dry, because you'll just move the paint around and that's annoying. But I like that color. And we will have to give it another color. We shouldn't have the same kind of problems with the blue. I'm going to go ahead and add some orange. See, now this one is, this coat though, holds up a little bit better because it has a little more red in it. But that first layer, wow. It's like the more red I put in it, the more solid the color becomes. Okay. So over here, and then I'm going to go in and fill in all of those little orange spots that I didn't fill in before. They should put the time these comments come through. Cynthia said she got her snacks right next to her ready to go. Well, let me see. I can time that. My stomach growled about 20 minutes ago. So, can't wait to try out that sea moss that Jessica brought by today. Especially if it's supposed to help you with your appetite. Because God knows, being stuck in the house, it's like the most exciting thing to do these days. well, I don't know how exciting it is. I find myself playing a little game called Didn't You Just Eat? Oh, I put my finger through that, so I'm going to put some orange in there. It looks kind of dull, so I'm going to put another coat there. And where else did I have? Okay. All right, we're going to let these dry, and then we're going to give them another coat. And so I don't lose all my orange, I'm going to do a little trick. I'm going to just drip some dirty water, no, some clean water on top of it. So then by the time I get back to it, it'll still be wet. Okay. Okay. Blue. Blue. Blue, 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 blue. Blue. Okay, we have our beautiful powder blue. We got our blue over there. Got our blue in the ears. We have our little blue dots. We have our little light blue dots. So if you haven't done those, you can go in and get those real quick. Dot, 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 dot. Spin your paintbrush so you don't have a big glob of paint on the end. Touch, 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 touch. Dip and twirl. And then where else? I think there's some over here. So when I designed this, or my redesign of the Gatito, I wanted it to have some of the Studio 928 brand colors in it. So it's random. The color choices are not really random, but because I, had to sneak some advertising in there. Also, I thought about how would it look when it was in my studio hanging, so that's the other reason. Oh, did you just drip black paint? Yes, you did. It's funny how it takes me a minute to see those mistakes. That's okay, because some black paint is going to kill that problem. Bam. Okay. Blue. Are we ready for blue? Oh, I see another space. Oh, you play that game too. Sea moss. Yes, I did say sea moss. My friend Jessica, who we go to the gym together, she's a Chicago police officer. And, I guess she decided that she was going to help out her fellow man. She is a very healthy person, very amazing physique. And she put together the sea moss gel. Yeah, it's supposed to... Oh, where is it? It's supposed to boost your immune system. It has iodine, potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, and zinc. It's a great immunity booster. It may decrease blood pressure, high blood pressure, increase blood flow, helps to suppress your appetite. I was like, get out of town. We totally need some of this. And it rids the body of mucus. And mucus is the cause of many colds, flus, sinus infections, and other diseases. And it says you have to refrigerate it immediately, which I already did. And you take it once or twice a day. You add 1 or 2 tablespoons to your tea, your smoothie, soup, oatmeal, or drink of your choice. Now, I have no idea how this stuff tastes. I'll show you what it looks like. I showed it a little earlier, but then everybody wasn't here. So I'll show it to you in a little bit. But God knows I need something to suppress my appetite. Okay, you want to know what my addiction is? My addiction is Trader Joe's, Trader Joe's mini ice cream cones. They're as long as this finger. And they come in chocolate and vanilla. And I could just shove them all into my face. They're so good. So my husband, he likes them too. He likes the chocolate ones. My favorites are vanillas. So when he buys them, he goes, okay, honey, I got you some. He said, I bought some chocolate ones for me too. I said, well, you know they're all mine, right? They're just all mine. He goes, no, the chocolate ones are mine. I'm like, they're mine. They're mine. So he hides them in the freezer. And I do him the favor of not trying to look for them. I just don't look. We have one of those deep freezers on our refrigerator. You know, it's like at the bottom of the refrigerator, and it, you know, it's like a drawer. So basically, you know, if you got to want something pretty bad to dig to the bottom of the drawer. So I haven't looked for them. And, but yeah, that's my one addiction. So this sea moss stuff, so she sells them for $25 a piece. They're 8-ounce jar, I think, or 12 ounce or something like that, or 2 for $40. So I've never tried it before, but you know, I try to do the healthier things in life for the most part. And so I thought I'd give this a try. Also trying to abstain from meat because we're hearing bad things about eating meat these days. Okay, bam. Okay. Ooh, I'm so excited to get this blue down. Okay, so that last stage of orange is going to be beautiful, you guys. You're not going to worry about it. It's going to be great. And maybe we can add some white to this to give it some more tooth, you know? So, okay, we are going to pick up some blue now because we have all of our other blue spots done that need the baby blue. So we're going to pick up some Play-Doh blue. You all know that's my favorite color. Play-Doh blue. And lay some down over here. And then, now, okay, so I have to mix this because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix it into my existing baby blue. But, so that it's not too dark, let's start with a white base first. Let's start with this white base. And then I'm just going to add what's on my brush into this white. It's going to be much darker than our baby blue over here. But isn't that beautiful? It always reminds me of the ocean. There. So you can stop there if you like that. Or you could go deeper. And I'm going deep. I'm going deeper. Oops, that's too much. And I just kind of squish out that extra paint like that. See, am I happy with that? I should be, but I want more blue. It's because I just love this blue. I'm going to dye and come back as this color blue. There, that's what I wanted, right there, right there, right there. Okay. As you can see, I keep adding blue to it because I think I just like the idea of the blue mixing in there like that. Okay, so now you can cover the most part of your background with the darker blue using your big brush, but you know you're going to come across those areas where you're going to need little brush. You need to try the latte. Oh, girl. The latte Oreo thin cookies. That sounds dangerous. That sounds real dangerous. It's like, do I really need anything? Okay, so we're going to start down here. Because when we get here, now we don't have to duplicate those splashes because again, this is digital. You can do, and I could go undo and take that all away, but not so much here. So what we can do, because I think the yellow should kind of, I'm sorry, the orange should overlap the blue. What we can do is just don't overlap the blue to the orange, and then we'll overlap the orange onto the blue later, I think. So we're just gonna go in like that. I know I said the other side, but no, I think we should just start right here. Ooh, look at that blue. Oof. And different colors, I gotta say, I think different colors grab, you know, they have different properties. Because look at this. The Play-Doh blue, it's like what they're made from. All paints are made from different types of things, you know, natural things. So if you Google Play-Doh blue, it'll tell you where the color comes from and how it was made and everything. And look at how one coat of this acts compared to even the black that we had earlier, huh? It's just the color of the paint. So don't forget to paint your edges. When you paint your edges, your paintings look finished. They look more professional. Okay, so we're gonna have to get into the Crazy Valley area eventually, where we have to be more precise. But I want to get all that paint off my brush now. Look at that. Hardly any brush strokes. No brush strokes. There are people outside talking in front of my window. They do that all day. So I'm so excited about being open. It's going to be so nice. We opened in February 14th. Well, I moved in February 14th. All right, so I'm going to start here by the ears and go around that way, because that way, you know, you have a system and it feels like you're making progress. So, yeah, look at your blues. Just gonna make you happy when you start painting with it. Oops. Oh, why didn't I paint those? God, They're yellow. I miss them. So, oh, I know how we're going to fix that. That's going to be great. We are going to fix that. We're just going to splash some paint over there. Oops. So, we're coming up on our, we're coming up on our 3rd hour. So, I defer to you. As long as you guys stay painting, I will stay painting with you. If you have things to do, of course, I understand. I just wanted to give you a heads up. So sometimes when you need to go around something round, you could just lay your paintbrush down and drag it. And then there's that time when you just have to use the tip of your brush. Okay, just checking in again. How's everybody doing? Oops. Arg. So, you guys, I got a boo-boo to fix. Felix, yay. Okay. Good, 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 good. Good to hear. All right. Oops. All right. So yeah, there's these little spots that just kind of drive you crazy, but you know what? The end result makes it all worth it, right? So looking pretty good, huh? I love that blue. Looks like I picked up a lighter blue somehow over here. You know what's fun is to see these in fast motion, or what do they call that? Time lapse, yeah. This is all that blood, sweat, and tears in 30 seconds. So here I am going into that area by the tail with just the tip of my brush. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. There we go. So if I didn't tell you guys before, what we're painting next weekend is the African Dance Girls, and you can find them on the website if you want to paint. And I think, like, everybody who's painting with me today will have enough paint to paint the African girls if they want to. So I think I might try to figure out a way so you don't have to buy the whole kit all over again. I mean, you have your brushes, you have your paints. You can definitely get more than one painting out of a kit. And then you can just buy the image. Oh, but you need a canvas too. So I'm still figuring out all these little technical issues. We'll figure it out. But also, if you bought a kit today, I'll give you $2 off your next one as long as you return the box. So it's a quick, easy way to save some money, help the environment, and yeah. Ooh, going on there. So yeah, so when we need to get in those little tight areas, we just make sure we twirl our blush. We twirl the brush in the paint like that so we get a nice tip. And then just use the tip of the brush real lightly. You're not pushing down on the canvas at all. And look, there's some little spots in here we need to get. And to do that, just using the tip of the brush. Okay, yay. Okay, so we still have some spots to get in here, and then we're gonna go over to the other side and pop that blue in there as well. And actually, if you look at it, the second blue in the second corner is a little lighter than this blue, so I will leave that to your discretion. You can decide how deep or darker that blue is. I'm going to probably play it somewhere in the middle. Yeah, we got to kill that hard line between the orange and the blue. I don't like it. It has to be a splash, and I'm going to show you how to do a splash in a minute, or 2, or 3, or 5, or 10, because we're here. Oh, I missed a blue circle, a baby blue circle. I see it now. There's just a lot going on in this image. So it's not hard to miss something. I see it, it's right there. So I am going to fix that. I'm gonna just add some water to my powder blue over here. There we go. Oops. Okay, I'm not going to bother that circle. It's trying to give me grief. I'm not having it. So, in order to make this go a little faster, I'm not going to try to correct that. And also, you know, those little details like that, yes, you should go back and fix them. And the only reason why I don't fix it is because I know I should move through this painting so you can see how the rest of it comes out. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the other side of the painting and get this blue down. I'm going to mix some of this blue over here into it. And I think I'm going to make it the opposite. So that one was lighter. I'm going to make this one darker. I'm going to make it darker, 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 darker. So just a little bit darker. And I'm just going to get as close to those areas as I can without overlapping the color. So we're painting around the edges because if you want to finish painting, always paint around the edges. Okay, I used a cotton ball. What would you use a cotton ball for? Oh, to paint the circle? Tell us your secret, Laura. So we have a lot of couples painting today. Together, which I think is so sweet. I wish my husband liked to do art. Of course he doesn't. He has absolutely no interest in art other than how my sales are going. That's terrible. Well, see, he has another kind of art that maybe Brian could appreciate, or the other guys in the group. He is a gearhead, I guess is the best way to describe him. His favorite magazine is Hemmings. It's this car nuts magazine. And he has a 64 Ford Galaxy 500 in our garage. And he just restored a 1982 Mazda. Wait, I forgot what it was. Wait. It's not a Mazda. Yeah, it is. It's a Mazda 280Z. That's what it is. And so that's where he considers that art. So he goes in the garage and, you know, he converts these ugly cars into beautiful cars. And yeah, I guess there's art in that. And only, you know, he only likes the older cars. Oh, to blend the blue and the yellow? Oh, yeah? How'd that work out for you? Tell me. Yeah, so, but I mean, I kind of agree with him in a sense, because to me, the beautiful cars of our lifetime were the ones, you know, from the 40s through the, well, yeah, so like the Hudsons all the way to like the early 70s maybe, you know, when the, what do you call it, the steel mills and that were at their height and they were getting real creative. But I mean, the classic cars end, I think, really in the 60s. But yeah, so that's kind of nice that you guys are all painting together. I like that. So you see I'm overlapping my colors a little bit, but that's okay because I can always go back and add some more color on top. What would really be cool is just, you know, like as much detail as you can. Like you could even go back with a darker purple and put circles, or, you know, outline that there, or definitely hit this with some more color, all of those things. So I'm going in here and I am going to fix this circle because it looks a little decrepit. should host the Paint Your Pet Day. Paint your pet. Oh boy, who's here who's been to a paint your pet? So I've done that before. I've done it before. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so I can't say I won't do them again. The only reason why it was challenging before is because I did all of the image transfer for everybody. So actually, if you guys, sent me your image and I blew it up for you and had it ready for you to transfer to your canvas. No, it's tough for beginners to paint fur, number one. And I just think it's a hard painting experience for someone who's just starting out. Now, if you're an intermediate painter, Cynthia, sounds like you might be an intermediate painter. Then yeah, cool. We'll we'll just make sure that people know that for this particular class that you should be more advanced than a beginner. Because beginners and Paint Your Pet, it'll be one of those experiences where, like, I wind up painting your painting for you. That's not fun. And plus, it's not, you don't get an opportunity to actually say, hey, I did that. Or at least you could say it, but it wouldn't be 100% true. But yeah. So we get these doors back open again. So what do you think about them saying that by the end of the month that we can return to, like, going to work or doing any of the things that we used to? I agree with the mayor in New York that, maybe by mid-May, this is April, okay. By mid-May that maybe we could start going back with everybody still wearing a mask and gloves. I don't think we're ready because China's still going through a difficult time, and they started going through this in December. So I don't think that we can miraculously be ready quicker than they are, because from what I understand, they have protective equipment. We don't. So, but I'm sure everybody has a different opinion, so that's just mine. We will be doing what the state of Illinois says for us to do. And that's it, that's all. And wearing masks. I don't want anybody getting sick. Right, guess what? We're going to try this orange again. And we all remember why this is such a bear. It's because the primary color is yellow, which is, it's not a very strong color. And so we are putting another coat. You know what, maybe I'm going to add some white to this. Maybe that'll help. Let me try some white. I'm going to add some white. It may be more pastel-y, but maybe it'll have a little more body. I'm going to add that. And maybe we just have to, as I was saying before, digital colors versus real life 3D colors are two different things. So colors in Gatito were created online in a digital context. So translating those colors in the real world is a little different, especially given that with a weak foundation color like yellow, it takes multiple coats. So I'm going to add some more red to this. Just a little bit, like that much. Let's put that there. So maybe if there's more red and then we add some yellow, we'll escape this curse of the see-through orange. I am adding some more orange. Yeah, it's a little bit different of like a reddish, pinkish, yellowish. But we need to give some body to this color to make it stick. So be it if we have to add a little more red. All right, so look at that right away. It's just different because red acts differently. It's more robust. And as you can see, I'm trying not to go back over that yellow. It's just not cooperating. Oops. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Anything to get us out of this orange hell. See-through orange hell. Yeah, we just next time start with a stronger base of white maybe. And then go to the orange because the yellow is just so weak. Okay. Yikes. Blow dryer. That's what I would do if I had remembered to bring it. I would have blow dried this and add another coat. Okay, so I'm dying to go in. So this orange that I just blended will be the perfect orange for the flower up top. So we get the splashes here. All right. So, I think that this is a long recording. I hope you're still there with me. So that contrast is so nice. It's kind of like a coral color instead of orange, which that's okay too. Oops. I guess I kind of changed things. Why does somebody yell at me and tell me when I'm doing stupid things? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, I think I'm going to have to stop soon. Only because my eyeballs are drying out. I have to, I didn't tell you, but yesterday, the day before yesterday, I couldn't find my glasses. So I'm looking everywhere for them and looking everywhere. I'm like, I know I had them when I stopped at the store because I wouldn't have been able to read the labels, right? And I know I had them when I got to my car because I had them on at the store, right? Why would I take my glasses off in the store? So apparently what I had done was put something in my trunk and my glasses fell off my face because they needed to be tightened. Which, that's my husband's fault. I asked him so many times to tighten my glasses for me, and he kept forgetting. And I kept forgetting to remind him. So, apparently my glasses fell off my face and were lying in the trunk of my car for 2 days. Until I decided that I need to put a box of heavy canvases in the trunk. And guess where I put the box of heavy canvases? Right on my glasses. So with that said, I had to do this emergency call to my optometrist, ask her if she could get me in to get some new glasses. Well, it turns out that she can reorder the same glasses I got last year. So yay! So I'll have glasses where I can actually see. These are old and decrepit glasses. They're so scratched up. And so, anyway, that was a long excuse to tell you that I'm gonna sign off in a little bit because I'm making mistakes because I can't see well. So, but let's see, if there is a place in the painting that you want me to cover before I sign off, I will absolutely do that. So let me know in the comments. Yeah, and actually I want to finish this and make it beautiful. I don't want it to be half done, so because this goes on display in the studio as well. So yeah, and I think I like this, and I covered it up with red, and I don't like that. I want it to be like this, so I'm gonna have to white paint that. If you make a mistake while you're painting and you want to start from scratch, just put down white as if it's gesso, and then you can paint over it all over again. The only thing is that you have to dry it, you know, make sure it's dry when you do it. So let's see, Jane, we just finished ours. Happy with it, how it turned out. We'll post pictures. Thank you so much for this. Well, that's pretty amazing. They came in late. That's Jane. And she said they're all finished. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, Jane. Yeah, they were some fast painters. Huh, okay. I am so happy about that. Okay, so then there's all this cool stuff in here that we need to go over, or that needs to be completed. So what I would recommend, I'm not hearing any comments from anyone about sticking around. You guys are probably like, yeah, my butt is going to sleep too. And this really is not a 2-hour, 3-hour painting. This is more, it's your, you know, you take your time. It's, you know, you want everything to be crisp and nice. So if it were up to me, definitely I would go back and fine tune some things. I feel like it's on the right path. I feel like I can make it great. I can make it just like that. But it takes time, you know, and she needs some whiskers. And so I'm going to have to layer that color because I'm going to be painting over white. What I may do, what you should do actually, is paint a white whisker first. So you see how the whisker comes out here? You want to paint that in white first. So you have white to paint on top of instead of black. Okay? And same thing with some of these areas where, you know, maybe the lines aren't as crisp as you like them. So go in with some white and sharpen up those lines. And also, you know, for your flowers, and you want them crisp. You don't want white lines in between there. I remember when I was a kid, you know, the art teacher would always tell you, make sure that your colors are vibrant and intense. So yeah, make that happen. Oh, I know one thing I want to show you before I go. Yes, all good. We'll finish up later. Okay, good. Margaret, thanks so much. Really enjoyed this time. I will spend some time finishing. Be well. See you soon. Okay, wait, before you go, I want to show you how to do your splash. Okay, so I'll show you on another surface. Okay, that way we don't have to worry about messing up anything. So you just take some of the color that you want. So, and you see it has to be a sizable like amount on the end of your brush. Okay, and how you do it is you're just gonna make sure your brush is facing down, and you just tap it lightly. So could you see that? That's how you get your splashes. And you want to make sure your brush is angled down towards the surface, and you just tap, 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 like right about here. And I'm using the bigger brush. Now, in terms of your painting, you know, you want to make sure that this is dry. You know, you might want to cover this up with a piece of paper, you know, while you're doing it. You tap, 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 and then, you know, you don't ruin what you've already done. Okay? Does that make sense? Yay! Okay. Laura, you're all good? Yes, we'll finish up later. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming here today. And I will make this available online for anyone who couldn't make it today. Laura, you know where to find it. But thank you again for supporting the arts, and we'll hopefully see you next week. Bye.